fans, to the ECHL Insider. I'm your host, Garrett Hunter, excited to talk about the conference finals in this episode. But before we get to that, some ECHL news for you. The Reading Royals have announced their new head coach will be Jason Binkley. He was the interim head coach at the end of the regular season for them after they had fired their coach. So he will be, though, the new head coach for Reading. So excited to see his start next season. Well, let's talk about the second round of the playoffs before we get to the conference finals. All four series very exciting to watch. We will start with the Mountain Division finals, and it was the Kansas City Mavericks winning that series 4-1. You'll see their overtime winner in Game 5 behind me in a few minutes. Boy, was it a thriller. And for the Mavericks, now their first time advancing to the conference finals in franchise history. Also, the Toledo Walleye swept the Wheeling Nailers 4-0. Boy, are the Toledo Walleye absolutely on fire right now. They have won their last 22 games going back to the regular season. 8-0 in the playoffs and on a 22-game win streak. These guys just look unstoppable right now. Back-to-back sweeps in the playoffs. Just looks like a very, very hard team to beat right now. And in the Eastern Conference, the Adirondack Thunder came back from a 2-0 deficit against the Admirals. They won all three in Norfolk to get the series to a Game 6 in Adirondack, win and move on, and that's exactly what they did. A 5-1 victory in Game 6 for the Thunder, and they win that series over the Admirals 4-2. And for the defending champs, the Florida Everblades, they rolled into Orlando with a 2-0 series lead, won Game 3 to get to 3-0, lost in Game 4 to the Solar Bears. What a battle back in Game 4 for the Solar Bears. They won that game 4-2, but in Game 5, wow, 1-0 lead for the Everblades. The Solar Bears, Mitchell Holscher tied that game at 1-1 with less than a minute left in the third period, but Robert Carpenter, the overtime winner for the Everblades, to give them the series victory over a rival on the road. What a thriller for the Everblades, and they take that series over the Solar Bears 4-1. Well, that will now bring us to the conference finals. 4 teams remain they're all vying now for the Kelly Cup. 4 teams, 1 cup. Only one can win it. So it will be really exciting with just 2 series to go. We'll talk about the first one, the Florida Everblades and Adirondack Thunder in the Eastern Conference Finals. This is the 3rd straight year that the Florida Everblades are in the Eastern Conference Finals. They look to make a 3rd straight Kelly Cup Finals appearance, but Adirondack standing in their way, a very, very good team on the other end, the North Division champions. And when I think about this series, these 2 teams actually did play 6 times in the regular season, 3 in Glens Falls, 3 in Estero, and over that, the Everblades won 4 out of those 6 matchups, including all 3 in Estero, and the Adirondack Thunder won 2 out of 3 of those home games in Glens Falls. So a little bit of an advantage in the regular season, 4-2 for the Florida Everblades. So I am picking the Everblades to win this series, but I think it will be very close, very competitive. And you look at the goaltending, Cam Johnson started all games for Florida. I think that might be the key in this series. How good will he be? He has been spectacular so far in the playoffs. I expect nothing short from him and the Everblades trying to make it to a 3rd straight finals appearance. And in the Western Conference, what a dandy. The Brabham Cup champion Kansas City Mavericks going up against the Toledo Walleye. Walleye, no stranger to conference finals, but Kansas City, we mentioned this is their first time in the conference finals in their 10 seasons in the ECHL. And for the Toledo Walleye, last season they lost these conference finals to the Idaho Steelheads. The year before that, won, and then came up just short in the Kelly Cup finals. So the Walleye know that they they know what the goal is. They want to win a Kelly Cup. They have been so close the last few years. They think that this is the year for them. And for the Mavericks, they think this is the year for them. They're the Brown Cup champions, regular season champions. They think that this is their year. So both of these teams have their eyes on the prize for a Kelly Cup, I think. And both of them can't win it, though. One of these teams will be eliminated in this round. I think it's just crazy to think about how good each of these two teams are. Regular season champion going up against a Walleye team that is 8-0 in the playoffs and won 22 straight games. I just don't know how either of these teams could be stopped. I mean, you look at both of these teams on paper, and they look like they could win the series easily. But they're going up against a really, really good team on the other side. So I'm picking the Toledo Walleye to win this series, but probably in Game 7. This will be a very, very close series, I expect. Walleye have got the sweep in round 1 and round 2. I couldn't imagine a sweep, though, because the Mavericks are so good, so offensively gifted. They lead the league in goals scored through 2 rounds of the playoffs. They are dynamite. But then on the other side, guys like Sawchuk and Hawkins for the Walleye can light the lamp easily, and they are a very, very good team. So I cannot wait for this series, especially in the Western Conference. I think it will be quite the battle between two fantastic teams, the Walleye and the Mavericks, but I'm looking forward to see it. So my Kelly Cup Finals prediction is a rematch of 2 years ago, the Toledo Walleye and the Florida Everblades. Also an update from last round, I went 3-1 in my picks, and total in the playoffs, I have picked 10 series correctly and 2 incorrectly, so I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully my success continues to the conference finals. And now check out that overtime winner that gave the Mavericks their ticket to the conference finals. Make sure to subscribe to our channel below, and we'll be back in a few days to give you an update on both the Eastern and Western Conference Finals series.
Walker cruising in, Walker in front, loose puck, score! 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 The Mavericks are heading to the Western Conference Final for the first time since 2013. It's Nolan Walker who drives the net, and it's